Hello dear students, this is part 3, chapter 1, food production. Today we will be starting with important topic, that is irrigation. In my previous video, I have explained you about fixation of nitrogen, how plants use atmospheric nitrogen to prepare food. This is another important topic, that is irrigation. In my previous video, I have provided you with exercises, and in those exercises there are certain content related question answers. I hope you all must be going through those question answers. Today also I will be providing you exercise during this video. I believe you all are watching these videos completely. By watching entire video, only you would be able to answer these questions by understanding the concept well. If you are facing any issue watching these videos by app, also you can simply subscribe this channel for hassle-free access to all videos. Thank you. So coming back to our topic, irrigation. You can see here we will be discussing about the definition of irrigation, sources of irrigation. Then here you can see we have methods. Different methods will be coming to understand irrigation, that how irrigation is done. And then very important topic, that is crop protection. You can read up till here, that is crop protection. Okay, so how crops can be protected, controlling weeds and removing weeds from the field, that is weeding, controlling pests and diseases, and so on. Next comes important process of harvesting, where you can see the picture of a combine, which we will be discussing later. Then comes the storage. Storage have different methods that we will be again discussing in the notes, which will come in the later video. Now, we only not obtain food from plants, we also obtain food from animals. Like you can look forward milk, which we are very familiar to. You can look over here, eggs, meat, etc. Now at the end, you can see here points to remember. These points are the important notes or the precise description of this chapter, which you need to go through and which will also help you to have a appropriate look of the chapter. Now coming to the notes which I have provided you for understanding each and every topic in a concise way. So starting with it, chapter 1, part 3, food production. Coming to irrigation, you know, water is required by plants from the very beginning, that is from the sowing of the seed. So how to define irrigation? Irrigation is the process of providing water to the crops, that is the water means the moisture which plants need from their roots, and when moisture is present, the plants will grow in a better condition. As we know, the requirement of water varies from crop to crop. We already have discussed about Kharif crop and Rabi crop. Kharif crop, they have different need for water, whereas Rabi crop have got different need for water. Here I have provided you example: rice, which needs more water; wheat, which needs less water. Coming to our next important heading here, what is salinization? You know, when we are providing water to the land, if the soil is not leveled, then what will happen? Water will get accumulated at different places. So this excessive watering, or we may say accumulation of water, will lead to accumulation of dissolved salts, that is in the soil. So when water will get evaporated, what will be left behind? Only salts will be left behind. So this process of increase in the content of soil in water after evaporation of water, that is known as salinization. But a good farmer farmer knows when and how irrigation needs to be done. So, being a farmer, they have to take a lot of responsibility. Now, coming to sources of irrigation. We know very important source of irrigation is rainfall. But rainfall is not uniform in all the regions. At some places you will find the rainfall is too high, so there easily crop gets water. But some of the places they are deficient in rainfall, so they have other sources of irrigation. We also can look forward to another source of irrigation, that is dams. All must have seen one or the other dam. What is the purpose of construction of a dam? That is storage of water. And this storage of water supplies water to the whole area and even the nearby regions where there is deficiency of water. And how this water can be provided to the nearby regions? That is with the help of canals. Canals can be certain permanent canals which continuously supplies water, but there are variation in the season we know as well. Sometimes a particular region may not get enough rainfall, though in the previous seasons that region must have got enough rainfall. So in those areas inundation canals are prepared. These are what? These are temporary canals, which are the temporary setup which is to locate or transfer the water in those areas where there is deficiency of water for a particular period of time. So we have two basic canals, that is permanent canals and inundation canals. Now, wells. In villages you must have seen wells, but these days hardly we get wells to be seen. They are used to tap groundwater. You must have seen people are putting in their bucket and pulling out water. So that water they are using, or we may say that manual work is much more in draining out water from the wells. So wells can also be one of the source of irrigation. Next comes the tube wells. They also tap groundwater. So we may say that groundwater actually accounts for 50% of water which is used for irrigation. Now coming to methods of irrigation, how water can be supplied. Okay, so methods of irrigation, as I have told you that it varies from region to region and also from crop to crop. First topic or the first method of irrigation is surface irrigation. Surface means we are simply providing water on the surface, but it will be good only when the land is leveled. But if the land is not leveled, then what will happen? Either the water will get accumulated, or if there is the tunnels or some kind of pores are created, that also will not let the crop to grow. So how to define surface irrigation? All modes in which water is allowed to run over the field comes under surface irrigation. Depending upon the need of water, we can have furrow irrigation and we can also have basin irrigation. Where furrow irrigation can be used? In crops which do not need too much water. By formation of ridges and furrows, water is supplied and water can be taken up by the crops. Like in case of wheat, furrow irrigation is followed. Then comes the basin irrigation. Basin irrigation is related with crops which need a lot of water. We have already discussed about rice and how it is done. It is done by making bunds all around in the field. Now, we know that there are certain regions where there is very limited amount of water. So there we cannot waste water anyhow. So there we can use the method of drip irrigation. Areas where water is in short supply, to avoid evaporation and percolation, drip irrigation is done. How it is done? It is done with the help of the emitters. These are fine pores and which are made in tubes or pipes, and these emitters, they help in drip irrigation so that water can be supplied to the roots of the crop. Next method we can look forward is the sprinkler irrigation. Now, it is used where land is uneven to distribute water more evenly. So, there is a kind of rotation machine where different pipes are attached and holes are made, and that machine is allowed to rotate and whole of the land receives water. Pipes fitted with sprinklers, these holes we call as sprinklers, which are laid along or over the field. And what is the benefit of this method of irrigation? That is, it avoids wastage of water, which is very important. Next topic comes, what we are going to study is crop protection. Once the crop is ready on the land, then it needs to be protected. Protected from weeds, pests and different diseases. What are weeds? How to define weeds? Weeds are actually the unwanted plants which grow along the crop. Now, why we are calling these weeds as unwanted plants and why they are harmful for the main crop? Because they will compete the main crop for space, for sunlight, for nutrients as well as for moisture. So, that will not allow the crop to be of good quality and in good quantity. So, removal of weeds is to be done, and this removal of weeds is called weeding. Next method you can see is controlling pests and diseases. To protect crops from insect and pest, use of chemicals like insecticides, pesticides can be used by farmers so that pest may not make the crop unfit, and that will again be affecting the quantity of the crop. And very important phenomena, that is biological control. Due to the poisonous nature of insecticides and pesticides, we know that basically these insecticides and pesticides are what? These are synthetic chemicals. So, they are on one or the other way poisonous. And their harmful effects on human beings we cannot ignore. So, we should use certain biological methods of control. Likewise, we can use natural enemies of the weeds and pests to kill them and to develop disease-resistant varieties of the crop, so that if any kind of disease spreads amongst the crops are protected by themselves because they have already resistant to these kind of diseases. Okay. Now, looking forward to harvesting. Now, what is harvesting? Once the crop is ready on the land, farmer need to harvest the crop. Process of cutting and gathering of the crops, that is harvesting. This is how we are going to define harvesting. We can use traditional methods like use of sickle. You all must have seen one or the other time how the sickle is used. Now, a modern method can be a combine harvester, or simply we can call it as combine. This is again with the help of machinery we can make the process of harvesting easy, but it is not accessible for all the farmers. Okay. Next comes threshing. What is threshing? When crops are cut from or when crops are harvested from the field, there is a process of separation of unwanted surface, that is what is we call as chaff. Okay. After the gathering of the crop, the process of grain separation is called threshing. It can be done by manually striking the crop against the hard surface, in which the laborers are involved. They beat the crop on the hard surface and make the crop separate, or it can be done by using modern machine, that is what we call as thresher. So, threshing is done by thresher and harvesting is done by harvester or combine. Combine is a combination of combine and harvester. Now, winnowing. Once the crop is separated, on the crop, if you observe sometime, there is an outer covering, that is chaff. We call it as chaff. So that chaff is to be removed to obtain the basic grain. So this method of removing or separation of the outer cover or chaff from the grains is called winnowing. Once we get the crop, now an important target, that is to store the crop. Grains can be stored much longer than fruits and vegetables, which spoil easily. We already know about perishable and non-perishable food stuff. Okay. So storage can be done in godowns where dried grains are being stored. Means we need to dry the grains first and then they are stored in the godowns in grain bags or silos. But these godowns are to be fumigated. What is fumigation? Fumigation is spraying the vapors of certain chemicals to get rid of pests, and it should be timely checked because we need to maintain a buffer stock. Buffer stock is what? That is a reserve stock of grains between two harvesting case or two harvesting seasons. That is the case of a crop failure like flood, drought, etc. Next method of storing the food can be cold storage. Like fruits and vegetables, they are stored at low temperature between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. This is important to remember. Temperature maintained in cold storage is 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Why? To discourage the growth of enzymes and microorganisms, because microorganisms, they spoil fruits and vegetables very soon. It means in cold storage we need to have optimum conditions of temperature and humidity. Now coming to the food which we can obtain from animals. We know food products are obtained from animals and they are much rich in proteins and vitamins than plants. Why animal proteins are preferred? Because they are easily digested by humans, and these animal proteins have some essential amino acids, and these amino acids we have discussed before. They are building blocks of proteins. So different foods which can obtain from animals are milk. We all taste milk and it is very good for health. All must be taking milk daily. Yes. Eggs, that is, comes under poultry farming. The eggs, the hens are put in the poultry and they are given proper conditions and from them eggs are obtained. Then comes the meat. Meat can be red meat and white meat. What is the difference between the two? Red meat have high fat content and white meat have low fat content. So meat can be a good option for those who are non-vegetarians. Fine. I hope you all must have understood the content. And coming to our exercise, I have already provided you hints for all these questions. We'll just go through them once. What is the difference between food crops and cash crops? What is horticulture? Kharif and Rabi crop. You can remember the amount of water required. Okay? You can define them. What are steps involved in preparing the soil? What is animal husbandry? This I have discussed in the first video. Memorize. What are fungicides? What is broadcasting? Why it is not an efficient process? What is crop protection? And very important topic which I discussed, that is what is symbiosis, how it is helpful. Remember about bacteria, leguminous plants. Fine. I hope this video will help you out to understand this chapter well. Thank you. Take care.